How y'all are? Welcome to Cookin' Cajun with Cory on a Tuesday. And you say, Tuesday? But Cory's my Wednesday fix. Well, we had to move him to Tuesday because I had Pete Shaw on today later, but then my job made me get a meeting scheduled for the same time Pete was to be on. So I had to move Pete to tomorrow at lunch and then move Cory to Tuesday. And now I have to go to this stupid meeting this afternoon. And that's my
juggling involved.
So
Scott's juggling people. It's fantastic.
Juggling my people, lots of texts, lots of calendar invites sent out. And yes, Judy Reed, dumb work. Dumb work. I don't
Meetings
mind
on meetings.
a meeting, but I got a life. Let me know what my meetings are ahead of time. Don't hit me with a surprise meeting.
Dude, my wife's the same way. They have so many meetings at work, calls, blah, 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 whatever. And she's like, 90% of them don't need to happen. Like we would get so much more work done if we would actually do our work instead of going and having a meeting to talk about doing our work. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's funny. I just got out of a meeting literally like at 12:05. When I hold that meeting, when my partner is off and I hold it myself, we are in and out of that meeting in 15 minutes. Today was 65 minutes.
Is everybody good? Yeah. All right. Great.
Yeah.
That's my kind of meeting, Scott.
I do not dick around. I am in and out.
Okay, so last time we were talking about it, bro, none of that matters. None of that matters.
My notes.
Yeah. What's happening right now? Everybody who's here remembers what happened last week. That's fantastic. Let's talk about what's happening right now. Yeah, if there's not anything to talk about, let's move on.
And don't need to bring out hypotheticals that ain't ever going to happen.
Yeah. That kind of stuff drives me bananas, especially with the work that I do. So, well, what if, bro, you are describing a scenario that is probably never going to happen outside of a movie?
So my first professional job was essentially OSHA. I was the Department of Safety with the state of Florida doing stats and information for how people got hurt at work.
Right.
It was part of a national program. We would go to these national conferences and we would talk about like, how do you classify different injuries? And there's this guy from Boston. He's at every one and he brings it up at every meeting. Well, I have these fishermen that go out and they do lobster fishing, and then they get what's called crab asthma. And if they get crab asthma, how do I classify that as an injury? So whenever anybody brought up a stupid idea, we just started calling it another crab asthma. Crab asthma.
What could that possibly be? Crab asthma.
It is real. It is a real illness that you can get on like fishing boats. But it never happens. Like,
yeah.
And it only in like, if like you ain't getting crab asthma in Nebraska and they don't care.
Yeah. Right? Nobody in Arizona is getting crab asthma. It's not happening.
Right. Exactly.
Jesus.
So then that just became like the catchphrase for all stupid questions.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, we got some more crab asthma.
I absolutely love it. Talking about safety, dudes. Look, when I was working construction, driving pylons back in the day, we had a job in a plant around here. Excuse me. And the first day we were there, we met the safety guy that was on site, right? And now you know how tall I am, which is not very, right? And this dude came up to me, like right here, with his hard hat on. Nice guy, big red hard hat, said preacher right here across the front of it, right? So because we had some turnover and whatnot in our job, like everybody on the job site is Joe. It's just easier, right? I don't have to remember Scott, Jeffrey, Helson, Judy, like everybody's Joe, doesn't matter. So he walks up to us and he introduces himself, blah, blah, whatever. Here, we safety guy over here and it's like, all right, Joe, appreciate it. We got stuff to do. And he goes, no, ma. They call me preacher. And we was like, All right, Joe. And he's like, no, man, my name's not Joe. They call me preacher. And he points at it on his hard hat. And I said, all right, Joe. And like one more time, getting kind of irate at this point. And he said, man, no, I mean, they called me preacher. And I said, well, on this job, you going to be Joe. And like we just left and went about our stuff. It took him about 3 days before he realized that everybody out there was Joe. And then he was okay. So yeah. I understand.
Well, crap asthma. I've bitched about my job now for enough time. But my daughter's doing something really cool today. And I'm very proud of her. She's heading to Yellowstone, the national park. And she's a photographer for a company. And they sell Bearproof coolers. So they're going to Yellowstone. They're putting their coolers out there for the bears to come get it. And they're going to film
bear trying to get it in
to see if they can get in their Bearproof coolers.
So it's funny you should mention that. One of the last dude that I was a roommate with, my boy Matt, he got that was one of the features or whatever of the Yeti that somebody had bought him for some reason, was that it was bearproof. And so the running joke at the house was that, I mean, ain't no bears around here. So far, it's doing his damn job. And he texted me, I shit you not, last week with a picture of and he said, I still ain't seen no bears. I feel like I feel like this thing really, we got our money's worth out of it.
Andrew Sten, next time I see Cory, I'm calling him Joe.
You should. You should. Let me tell you something. It has taken a concerted effort of will since I got out of the crane, out of construction, and doing what I do now, which is an office setting, to not still call everybody Joe. Like even when I'm at the gym, it sometimes just naturally comes out. I did it for 15 years, dude. Like it was a long time. So I can tell you right now, Drew, first of all, happy birthday from this weekend. Secondly, if you call me Joe, I can promise you I'll answer.
Yeah.
Just be prepared to get it back.
Jay Birch, Yellowstone National Park is going to allow that. They have made the arrangements with the company, with the national park.
That is fantastic.
They're all good. But what's going on, Jay Birch? Judy Reed, see me rolling. I think that was Seema Boobs, right?
It is.
All right, cool. We got Andrew Sten. We got Aaron Frazier. We got Helson. What's going on, everybody? So cool that you guys are all with us today.
Outstanding.
Dad took a new Sprinter van out, so Seema Boobs should return soon. So before we get into the CrossFit stuff, like we haven't talked enough already, LSU national champions.
Did you see any of the press conferences with the Coastal Carolina? I do need to. He's got a little growing up to do. He was like, "Our motto is," and I'm paraphrasing here, so don't quote him for not quoting him directly. But he basically said that our motto over here is personal responsibility, taking accountability, and then proceeded right after that to throw all the accountability off of himself and onto the umpires. Leading up to the actual 2 championship games, they had interviewed him and a couple of players, and they asked him, what do y'all admire about the LSU team? Like what, as far as their and then they said, like, there was a long, awkward pause, and they were like, not much. And then we proceeded to win 2 out of 3 right off, like just basically sweep them in 2 out of 3 series. So,
yep.
Don't do shit like that. Like, you are setting yourself up for failure.
Well, and you are Coastal Carolina. You are not Alabama. Like, just be proud that you made the championship game.
You haven't been here since 2016. Maybe, or 18, one or two. Maybe you should settle down a little bit. Yeah. But they went on a 26-game winning streak. Like, they won 26 in a row. Good for them. Happy for them. But like at some point, you should probably tone it down a little bit and realize that, yeah, you still got 2 games left to play. So maybe not talk shit.
Yeah.
Just
well, let's dive into some CrossFit stuff before we get too far into this.
last night LSU baseball all day at this point.
Last night, Dave's Week in Review, he announced that there would be 2 announcements today. We think we've seen one. And I think Aaron Fraser already referred to this in the comments.
Said we back. Back like we never left.
Crisscross applesauce.
Crisscross applesauce, my favorite thing to do. Yay.
I still have a great video.
Oh, I
Of
watched it not that long ago.
Mr. Corey Leonard doing crisscross applesauce at the Masters Fitness Championships. Not well.
It did not end well at all. It did not end well at all. On a related topic, before we get too far into this crisscross applesauce, can we all agree that Allison Scudds is going to be the demo team captain basically for the rest of time?
Yes.
Okay. God bless her. I hope she makes. She's awesome. I really wish she would make the games, but as it stands right now, sweet baby, she's gonna be a lot of these type videos.
Can we also say that her partner and soon-to-be husband is a stud and so cool that he was on the show with us Sunday night?
Absolutely. Having said that, I'm not mad at this.
But didn't Dave say he hated it?
Apparently he didn't hate it that much.
Because here we are.
It's funny. So I watched it. I watched part of it last night. I watched the rest of it this morning. And he was talking about teaching somebody double unders. And then talking about how, looking to see that how their single unders were first to see if you could teach them double unders, right? Because I could teach you a whole lot. And he said, and other high skill stuff like, crossovers and triple unders. He even mentioned that. And then today we get this with the crossovers.
Trent Olive prefers triple unders. And Lido did confirm, he did say he hated it.
Yeah.
Mr. Albernaz said, hey, demo people make more money than most games athletes. There you go.
I mean, they got to pay them for all their time, I'd imagine. Like, you don't just fly them out there and have them testing stuff and living up there for however long they stay. Because, I mean, it's probably a pretty substantial amount of time, I would think. And the guys that come out 29th is probably not making as much money as the demo team people. I would agree to that.
Trent Olive laughs because if people don't know, Trent Olive is Cajun for train to live.
It is.
And Judy Reed says, and demo team's probably way more fun.
I would think so, dude. Because, you need to perform and you need to be able to be at that level, whatnot. But, the pressure is off. You just need to go and test these workouts, show people how to do it when it's time for, and that's it. You're going to do, a round or two and then go on about your business. Get cleaned up, get ready for the next one.
Let's be honest, though. For us jabronis, it's easy to say it'd be more fun and it pays more. But if you're a competitive athlete, damn, you want to grind.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be on the demo team.
No, you want to grind.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to be on the demo team. God bless them. They are always. I mean, last year with was it Allison, Colton? Who's the other two? What was her name? Was that young kid, wasn't it?
Annika.
Annika was on demo last year?
Yeah. Yeah, worst year to be a demo team member ever.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Sten says demo athletes work way harder than competitors. They are constantly testing even at the games. They are. It's crazy.
Trista Smith. That's what I was trying to think of. Thank you, Judy Reed.
Does this mean teams will have double Dutch? Double Dutch bus going down.
Yes. Look, just sitting there getting after it. I am down with that idea. Let's make that happen. Whatever we need to do, whoever we need to call, let's make some calls. Let's send some emails out. Teams do double dutch, and they have to like do the cadence, like and sing the whole time.
I just want you to sing the song. As long as I get you singing the song, I'm all in, man.
Signed, sealed, delivered. I love it.
So that seems to be the only announcement that has come out from CrossFit Games so far today.
Yeah.
But he did say 2 announcements were coming out today.
I'd love to know what the other one, like, I don't even have an idea what it might be. Like, maybe give you a hint towards the strength event. If it's something off the wall, like.
It could be as simple as a sponsor.
Right.
Could be who bought CrossFit.
You think they're going to make that public right now? How far out? How far out are we? 2 months?
Yeah, not even. 7 weeks. 6 weeks.
7 weeks. Be a bold choice, I think, to just go ahead and drop that bomb today on a random Tuesday at the end of June. Not saying that they won't, because they've done crazier stuff.
I think he said it didn't have anything to do with the sale. Oh, I know, Andrew. I'm just trying to like create.
Yeah, but we're trying to create drama here, Andrew.
Yeah.
But Andrew's a lot of fun at parties.
Yeah.
Actually, he said it didn't have anything to do with the sale.
We're trying to have a fun conversation that has we're trying to be like keeping it real. No fact base. Just
no facts.
Out some stuff.
None. I looked at what other people said.
Let everybody get all fired up over nothing.
I looked at what other people said. I formed my own opinion, which was exactly the same as theirs. I just made a video about it. I hope I don't see you in Kansas, Andrew. Got my actually booked my plane tickets last night. We are all the way official.
So let's move on.
Yes, sir.
Someone did something pretty cool in the CrossFit space, and that is one Mr. James Sprague. 6 weeks out from CrossFit Games, he decides to do an Ironman.
That is crazy town banana pants.
Are you kidding me?
Bro,
and did you see his time?
Yeah.
Insane for just a guy doing CrossFit.
I'll tell you right now.
22.
Yeah. That's a 70.3, right? That's a half Ironman, but still. His swim time alone, as someone who's been swimming and trying to actively learn how to swim for distance, that's it. Those are insane times for somebody who does CrossFit.
I was a swimmer, a high-end swimmer, doing 100-meter intervals. We on like a minute 30 would be insane in the pool.
100%.
Even minute 35 average in open water.
Scott, I struggle to maintain 103.5 minutes.
He was a swimmer though, wasn't he? Yes, he was. But that is open water, and that is in those. I am trying to tell you guys, in a pool, that's an insane pace.
Yeah.
In open water, that it is ridiculous time.
Open water, competition, other people out there, like all the factors thrown in there, like that is bananas.
I saw that and I was like, his chip timer went bananas. It went off some weird way. There's no way.
I'm gonna tell you something else too. If somebody's been riding their bike around the neighborhood a whole lot, like I can do 10 miles. Now, granted, I don't have a real fancy road bike. I have a semi-fancy mountain bike that I ride around. So I don't have road tires and clipping pedals, all that nonsense. But to average 18, almost 19 miles an hour, you truck it. You are like it's not lollygagging around. I can do I usually do, or like Sunday or Saturday rather, I did 10 miles, and it takes me just under 40 minutes, or just at 40 minutes to do 10 miles. That's averaging somewhere around 14 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour. And I'm not a fantastic biker, but I'm not terrible either. Like, I know what it takes to hold that kind of pace for that amount of time.
And what, this is like 117 miles or something like that?
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And at averaging 18.75 miles per hour.
That's the part that stands out to me. Like, that is trucking, dude. That is moving right along.
So this is my question. What can't this man do? Guy wins the games last year. Granted, we had the Lazard Jukic tragedy, and not everybody finished the games. And he wins the games, and everybody's like, well, he only did it because of the programming. Blah, blah, blah. This guy qualified for the World Championships in High Rocks. He just completed an Ironman at an insane time and insane paces. Is he trying to say, like, just line the stuff up for me, and I will show you how fit I am and why I am the fittest man on earth?
Is there anybody better at endurance shit than James is right now? No, there is not. There just isn't. I don't throw anybody's name out there that you want. There just isn't. And yeah, what Judy said right there, his half mile to average a 7:46 mile for 13 miles, 7:46 a mile, excuse me, for just holding under 8 after the swim, after the bike. Again, crazy town, banana pants.
Simi says, didn't he win Wadapalooza too? Oh yeah. Check that box as well.
I'm excited to see what he's going to do this year, dude. I really am.
And went to Rogue, finished top 10 with pneumonia.
With pneumonia. with low lung function. Can't breathe. Oh, it's okay. I'm going to fly across the pond and still finish top 10. And yes, Aaron, he is an awesome dude. He's a dude, period. Like, there's no, what you see is what you get. He is goofy. He is kind. He is just a great human being.
What a guy, man. And I love the kid. I actually knew his dad before I knew him through Masters Fitness, was Collective at the time, now Championship. So I got to know his dad before I got to know him. And his dad is just one of the greatest dudes ever. Like, the apple did not fall far from the tree.
Right.
I think he could be a world-class High Rocks athlete too if he wanted to. No, without even really training for it, he made the World Championships.
Yeah, I would say he already is a world-class High Rocks athlete without trying.
Yeah. Let him try and then see.
Yeah, if he actually was like,
all this other stuff he's doing, he would be bored as hell doing High Rocks, doing the same movements every day.
Same moves over and over again. I mean, there's only so many wall balls you can do before you just like, okay, I got it.
I don't know if you guys saw the preview for tomorrow's Rich Froning podcast. It's going to be a hot one, like 7 inches from the midday sun.
Yes, sir.
Let me see if I can pull that up real quick.
You should have had that sound bite ready, Scott. We could have just played that. It's a great song.
Here is a preview of tomorrow's Rich Froning podcast with Brent Fikowski. Are we ready?
I am.
Your biggest problem right now is your buy-in to the PFAA, or really just into the things that you're pushing. Probably the buy-in from people who just disagree with you or think they disagree with you.
Sure.
And I think a lot of it stems from the demands after the games.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of your biggest problem right.
Well, let's get right into it. That has been what I've been trying to say all along. The PFAA is only as strong as the support it gets from the other athletes. Brent just going off saying things without the backing of the other athletes is meaningless. And that they needed a better organizational structure to show that they were all together.
United front, right?
And they put the cart before the horse. And I took it on the chin for freaking months when I was saying that. That they did not put together a good voting strategy, a good support strategy for that organization before they went all in with these demands.
They basically said, "Oh wait, we have an organization that we made up yesterday, essentially, and this is the things that we want." And they got laughed at and didn't understand why they got laughed at. I can tell you why, because of what you just said. You have nothing to back it up. What's the Return of the King? Oh, excuse me, not Return of the King. The Two Towers. You have no power here. You have no power here. So, like, what soapbox, what bargaining chip do you think you have? You do not. Because the people that we talked about this before, the people who are not competing this year because they stepped out because they're either part of the PFA, they stepped out for whatever reason. The season moves on. With or without you.
I, for one, I like Brent. Well, probably till just this moment, we had a good relationship.
Probably till right up until just now.
I like the idea of an organization for the athletes to be able to communicate what they need and want, but it should be done in a way that makes sense and it takes into account all the athletes and not just 3 elected officials who deem what is important and what is not. And because you elected them 9 months ago, they get to say whatever they want, and they are representing everybody. That makes no sense.
No.
You should have meetings with everybody, get votes on controversial topics so that you can say in a vote of 89 to 64, we voted this through and these are the demands we want to make. That holds way more water than 8 of us sign this document. This is what we want.
This is what we think. And it's the same 8 people who've been saying the same things for however long. So, like, all you did was say that, okay, instead of us saying it individually, we're all saying it, the 8 of us or however many it is, are all saying it together now.
So I'm not against an organization for the athletes. I'm not against Brent running it. I just always thought the structure sucked.
You have no authority. You have no, and it's an outside body at that. Like, you're not even, you have no association with CrossFit other than the fact that everybody that's in it does it. Thank you, Andrew Stanton, for being the voice of reason. That is correct.
Every other players association does that. Members get a vote, right? Especially on the big ticket items. Yeah, maybe the board will pick what bank account they use and pick whatever, the little stuff.
Inconsequential stuff.
Right.
Let's call it that.
When you're putting a demand, you want people fired, the member should have voted.
And why do you want to with that number? Because reasons. Because I've been wanting him going for years, and now I've got these other people to agree that we can all kind of try to present some sort of united front and say it.
Fantastic. The problem was it's what those few people wanted. They flexed, thought they had enough juice behind the flex, and they didn't, and now they've got nothing. And now they're starting from less than 0 to build this back up if they want to.
They had a bluff. It was called. Cards on the table. What do you have? Nothing. Oh, well, all right. Moving right along. I mean, what did CrossFit do in response? Oh, here's the CFC again, the CAC again. This thing that we already had once, and then y'all decided y'all didn't want to have, and then y'all decided we need it, so we just brought it back. Here's a CrossFit Athlete Council, which is actually represented by athletes that are still doing CrossFit. I can't wait, dude. I cannot wait. I think Angelo is probably just starting to get his recognition as being a fantastic interviewer of people and talking like just somebody who knows so much about the space and what's going on. And he is not scared to talk to people and like ask questions and tell them exactly what's on his mind. And I think that makes for a phenomenal interview experience if he's let off the leash and like let him say what he wants to say.
What I want to know, and this is on a different subject, but on last week's Rich Froning podcast, they briefly mentioned that Angelo got a contract with Mayhem to do something in their organization now, but they did not say what that was. And so I am really anxious to see why he was brought on, what role he's playing. I mean, he does a lot for Mayhem now, just as like a friend.
Yeah, but they made something official.
Yeah.
That's a
It was a really slight pickup in the background, but yeah, I'm anxious to see. Lito said, food for thought. Do you think that if someone, not saying Castro necessarily, had been fired or resigned, we'd be in better position now? My thought is no. My thought is that we see these public faces and they're not really the ones running the show. The people running the show are the board of directors for the private equity firm. They're the ones making all these decisions, and it's Castro and Fall and all these people coming out in front of everybody having to communicate that message, whether they believe it or not. And I think that is the problem.
I would agree to that. I would definitely agree to that. I don't see that as solving a problem. That is throwing fuel on the fire, I guess, to keep everybody warm for a little bit. But then once that burns out, then what happens? What's changed? God bless Lazar. He's still going.
Yeah. I think, and Lito follows that up with, in terms of a less divided community, I think you're going to have the divided community regardless. You have people who love Dave Castro. You have people who hate Dave Castro.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of middle ground there.
No. Not a lot of people in the middle. And I think that if they fired him, you'd have the same half that supported him upset that they fired him.
Yeah.
And then the other half glad that he's gone. And then the same board of directors running the whole show anyway.
Well, here's the thing about that kind of stuff too, that comes to mind is that where does it end? So the next person, so you fire Dave Castro and the people that hate Dave Castro are having a party, whatever, excited. And then whoever's going to step up, steps up. And then something else happens next year or 2 years from now or 3 years from now. We fire that dude. And then what? Like you just fire to appease people? So, oh, well, these people think this guy should be fired. We should probably fire him. And then what?
Did you see this? I missed this.
I did see that.
Running Mayhem, Angelo, the contract, running Mayhem so Rich can be CEO.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I would not be upset if it did. Does that make sense?
It all depends on the structure behind it. You can put whoever you want in that seat.
100%.
Depends on the ownership group behind it. Well, how is that configured to support the people they put out there? Are they going to give them autonomy? Are they going to give them the ability to do what they want to do? Or is it a board of directors they still have to report to? Like, that's the piece that people keep forgetting. We can put faces out there all we want, left and right. If that face doesn't have the ability to do what they want to do and do what they think needs to be done, then none of it matters.
No, if it's just, and CEO is just a figurehead at that point, for somebody to roll out there and just spew whatever talking points they have for the day, what good is that doing? What good is that doing to anybody at that point? It's just, you could put anybody. You could put me up there. We could put Scott up there. We could put, it really wouldn't matter, because they're just sitting there and just saying, yep, this is what happened yesterday, and just literally reading off of a script, and they don't have any real power. If whoever the new ownership group is actually just going to be, hey, hands off. This is okay. We're gonna make Rich CEO for whatever reason, because we think he actually has the right tools, vision, knowledge, whatever you want to call it, to keep pushing the methodology. Let's make that clear. Forward. Sport's a byproduct. Always has been. The sport. I don't know if you said
I have different thoughts about that, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That's for a longer debate on another day when we have more than 9 minutes left in our lunch hour. But even if you look back at the Glassman days, he would hire a CEO, and then if that CEO wasn't doing it the way Greg wanted it done, you gone. Right? Yeah. So even though you'd put these different CEOs as the front-facing piece of CrossFit, Glassman was always CrossFit, because behind the scenes, he's the one running the show. And he sells. Now we have this public equity firm doing it, and they are going to be the decision makers of CrossFit until they sell and somebody else takes it over. And we just don't know what that new structure is going to be.
Facts.
So all I know is the current structure does not work. So whatever they're doing today does not work. And I am looking forward to the sale. And it may be worse. Who the hell knows? But I know that whatever is happening today is not working.
Right.
Right.
So hopefully, with that being said, whoever is buying it is not just going to maintain this, like, it's not a lateral move. Does that make sense? Like,
no. You don't spend this much money and make it a lateral move.
Well, they spent that much money and brought it backwards. So
true. They didn't know what they were getting into. If the people who think are buying it, they've been around the space long enough to know.
Yes. Well, they understand that you don't. Again, going back to what Greg said, if you provide value, the rest of everything else is going to fall into place.
Yeah,
like the money's going to follow as long as you're providing a product, a value that people actually want. I firmly believe that.
Yeah. So I don't know where I'm going to. So on another note, I just watched the Kipping It Real video this morning.
God bless you for watching Grant stuff.
When I was at the games last year, there were two people that were my support team at the games, because I was there by myself until Kat showed up a couple days into the games. And when I was there, Grant and Amanda Hari were my support team. And without them, I don't know how I would have got through that first day of the games. But man, Grant, dude, you are killing me, brother. Killing me.
Oh, Grant.
He made the statement, and he keeps saying, these are the facts. Just because you say they are doesn't mean they necessarily are. And he was saying that the new company came over, they started making cuts to the games, and that's why there were not safety measures in place, and that could be why Lazar died. The cuts were being made to the games prior to the sale. Greg made cuts to the games after the 2018 season. Those cuts were happening well before the sale. So that's one thing. I'm not going to dive into all this stuff.
Right.
But just be careful what you're saying, dude. And just because there's low-hanging fruit out there to hit doesn't mean you have to.
Please don't, as a matter of fact.
And I'm saying this, and he's getting more views than I am, and he's getting more clicks than I am. And I love the dude. Like, as a person, he is a good dude.
100%.
Super good dude. But dude, man, I'm just burning up going, that's not how it happened.
He's one of those people that's at like a 13, and I need you to turn it down to like a 6. just dial it back a little bit, bro. Like, you're not doing terribly, but I just need you to pull it in a little bit so that there's some accuracy for one. And yes, thank you, Judy Reed.
This is the other piece that he said that was getting me fired up, is that the games don't make any money. I've heard from very high sources that the games actually make money. The Open makes money. It's that stuff in the middle that they have not figured out.
Yeah.
That middle stuff loses money. And at a rate that hurts the bottom line for the whole structure.
The whole structure. Yeah.
So
I can see that.
And I believe that CrossFit has never, ever reached their full potential of revenue streams. They never run commercials during any broadcast. They never, they don't do any kind of jersey sales. The only kind of merch sales CrossFit does are shirts that say CrossFit.
That's it. Full stop.
Right.
You know when you've never seen, talking about, the only time I've ever seen ads for CrossFit is during a CrossFit event. You're barking up the wrong tree. The people that are watching that are well aware of what's going on and well aware of how to get there. Like, you need to, if you're going to spend some money on advertising stuff, cool, but let's put it somewhere that it makes sense.
Or how about this? Actually sell ad space during your streams.
Maybe a good idea.
That's a revenue stream that they have not even tapped into.
And who gives a shit who buys it?
Savon did. Savon sold ad revenue during both NorCal and Syndicate. You know who else did? Mayhem did.
Mayhem did.
Mayhem did during their broadcast. They sold ad space during their broadcasts.
Rory was doing live commercials
from Vendor Village. Like, think about how cool that is.
Yeah.
You have this massive vendor village at the games. You could have somebody, a correspondent out there and highlight your vendors during that time.
Hey, this is Travis Bellinghausen with Vindicate. We are at his booth right now.
Right.
Travis, tell us about
increase the value of that booth for him by promoting what he's doing out there.
Knowing Travis, I'm just using him as an example. It's the first person that comes to mind. He would be way more likely to spend out the ridiculous amount of money they want for a booth spot there if something like that would happen.
Right. And then the value of the booth goes up, which means more revenue stream for you, CrossFit. Like, see how it all works?
It's weird how that works. Here's the best part about this, Scott, is that you got a dumb coon ass and a former D1 swimmer that figured that, like, we can figure that out.
Yeah. I know it's not popular to say, but I do have an MBA.
And excuse me, Mr. MBA. I don't.
But I never really worked in marketing I was always a stats guy and a teacher, basically. But
either way, what I'm getting at is that two dudes on a podcast on a Tuesday morning can put our heads together and go, hey, what would be a really good idea? And what would it cost? Bring the camera out there. Like, they can, wherever they're broadcasting from, they're broadcasting.
And not only that, make it part of a package. Like, if you get a vendor booth, you also get ad space during the stream.
Yep.
You can get this package where you get that. You can get this package without that. Things like that. There's so many creative ways to do that they just are missing out on completely.
When I think about, like,
this is not because of my education. This is because I watch sports.
Yeah.
Right. I watch other sports. Look at that. Lido becoming a new member. Woo! Thank you so much, Lido. We appreciate that so much. That helps us maintain the software to run this thing. Thank you so much for doing that. You'll become a great, great person in the chat, and I'm so happy to have you as a member. But anyway, when people say that it can't make money, I think that it has not tried to make money.
No.
There are so many ways for revenue streams. So many ways that we haven't even explored. But Grant, so I don't know. Keep doing you, and I'll just take deep breaths more. I don't know.
God love that dude. The one thing you do not have to tell him is for him to keep doing him. He gonna keep that up no matter what.
Yeah. I was gonna talk about let's finish on this. Boys interrupted last night.
I got made 5 minutes before I fell asleep, so you have to fill me in.
Very entertaining as always. Those guys have just hit it out of the park.
Yep.
I was reminded of, I've had a rough year with some agents in the space, and they came at me a little bit, but I've always had a good relationship with them. So I was really surprised that happened to me this year. What last night did is reminded me why I like those two dudes. I do think that they may be barking up the wrong tree at different things, but as a whole, like, I like them. They've both been on my show, but I loved, they are essential for this sport.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And it's like Dallin said, his first sponsor was ESC Sounds. And the owner of ESC Sounds says, I didn't screw you over, but somebody's you need to get protected.
Right.
And that's when he hooked up with Cooper Marsh. Cooper Marsh is O'Keefe was probably the first agent that I talked to, and then Cooper Marsh was the next. When I was trying to grow this thing, I reached out to them and said, hey, I just am trying to figure out a way to grow. And both of them offered to like help me and mentor me. And that is invaluable that happened early on. And I really appreciate them for that. And Daniel has been nothing but cool to me until the whole Brooke Wells thing blew up this year. And then I made one joke on Instagram and everybody lost their damn mind. But
I never understand
I truly, truly love those guys. And they are there for a purpose. And I think last night showed why they're there. And I like that they had that on there. Doesn't mean I agree with everything they do.
Not by a long shot.
But
we can start with Hopper's hair and just kind of move from there.
But I did like how they like were stealing athletes from each other. And they talked about that story. And they talked about the recruitment of Hopper and why Cooper lost him initially. And they said, well, how would you approach Jason now? And he said, well, I would just go over and talk to Dallin until he got so jealous he'd come over and talk to me.
That's accurate. That's accurate. That's fantastic.
So that was cool. And again, those dudes are so freaking entertaining. The three of them. I don't know. It's the matches I didn't think would ever happen. Like I could see Dallin and Jason. I did not see Justin joining that group. But
that part, every single time I see the three of them together, like you said, the two make sense. And then there's Justin. But all together, it actually works, which is I'm glad. I'm happy for him. I think
and we said last week, like they're the most successful athlete podcast other than maybe the Rich Froning podcast.
They're on episode 26, according. I do remember that from right whenever. Like I said, I made it.
That's way longer than the daughters made it. It's
longer than a lot of people that have tried.
Jay Birch, I've been friends with Cooper since 2019. He really is a good dude, and he has been nothing but supportive of this show all along. Like, I couldn't, when you first start this thing, trying to get a hold of athletes in DMs that you are not friends with is very, very hard. By getting in touch with Cooper gave me phone numbers, and that got me started, which was tremendous.
Can't ask for more than that.
Sprague would fit right in. He's been on the show, I think, twice, right?
2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Jack Farlow's the man, though. The Jack Farlow episode, it may be my favorite of all time.
I'm gonna have to go back and get caught up. There's so much stuff, dude.
Jack Farlow is smarter than all of us, is what I learned.
That I believe. I'm good, like, during the day, catching up live, or being on live shows when I've been from my computer most of the time anyway. But like, once I get home, I turn off. Like, I get home, I eat.
Yeah, I don't watch anything from the end of work until I go to bed.
Yeah.
And then I put stuff on as I'm getting ready for bed, and then as I'm going to sleep.
That's why I made about half of. I finished Castro's weekend review this morning while I was eating breakfast. And then, I mean, aside from that, like, I got a couple things to say. Like, it really. Somebody asked him what events he was excited about, and he was like, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. He said a lot of them. Aside from that, like, it really wasn't a whole heck of a lot. But I mean, I guess that's going to be like that. He's just going back on his week. Poor bastard had some horrible travel stories, but that happens to a lot of people.
Well, we were way past our 45 minutes, and I'm late to get back from lunch. So I need to get back to work. I have a 1:30 meeting. With that, guys, you knuckleheads get back to work too. We will see you next time. Tomorrow, Pete Shaw talking about Metfix. If you have not seen the Hiller Instagram reel, that was a lot of what I had in my notes to talk to him about tomorrow. And I'm anxious to get some answers on some of that stuff. But kind of bummed that Hiller blew my notes.
To be fair, dude, Hiller's been on top of that. Hiller's been like a dog on a bone on top of that since they started putting out, especially since here recently, the stuff they started putting out. Like, he's been all over it. So,
yeah. So Pete Shaw tomorrow from Metfix. He is the head of education for Metfix. We're going to have him on at noon during our lunch hour tomorrow. So 15 minutes early lunch hour tomorrow. And then we'll talk to him, and then we'll be back regular lunch hour on Thursday, back at it with all the fun stuff. With that, we'll see everybody next time on Lunch with the Clydesdale. Bye.